Hi, man, I'm recording.
Yeah.
I will, tell that story one more time.
So in 2017, I approached you for the first time to learn the procedure.
Now, I approached you 2017.
Correct. You approached me. You approached me. That's right.
Yeah.
And I learned the procedure in a lab. It was a cadaver lab. It was interesting, but I kind of understood things, but not entirely. And then I thought it was premature for me to do those cases facing the boards at the end of that year. So I didn't want to do those cases then. Then I had a transition to a different job and obviously some time to settle. And then I approached you because I thought, okay, now it's the time to get this really going, because I saw your media in LinkedIn and your media in YouTube, and I saw that you started posting actual facts, data, like intraoperative time, blood loss, number of levels, and testimonials. And so you can read as many papers and literature as you want, but I can trust the data that's written from a surgeon that has the guts to actually publish it and put, this is my blood loss, this is my intraoperative time, and come check it out to the hospital if you wish, because that's a record, right?
Yeah.
So I approached you, and then I realized that there was a significant process to learn it, which is not just a weekend course, and that makes it even more trustworthy. Like, okay, he's got a plan to make you proficient in it. Not only you need to train in a lab, but you actually need to be guided from a pilot to a co-pilot type of scenario. And I've always believed in the Life Wings program from UTMB, where everything is almost like in the flight system. You have to have that transition, and you have to have that collaboration between the expert and the novice. What's interesting between us is we train together, and it's been 14 years. I was listening to you speak. It's been 14 years since we actually worked together under the same roof, and 14 years after, here we are. And I think that's an incredible feat. I mean, I think it's an amazing thing to be here and to be able to learn this procedure from you. Today we proved that we can do it, and the patients benefit from it when they went home. Yeah. And I'm very grateful to you and to your teachers.
Thank you. No, well, first of all, thank you for having me here. I think this is truly a teamwork, and we had a good team. Many of these people here are actually on that team, and but I like to get your experience about, because many times.
From anesthesia,
yeah. Tell me about your experience.
Well, for us, just like everything that you were presenting on the slide, when you have a patient with a large BMI, right, that's prone, and then you're doing multi-levels on them, you're talking about blood loss, you're talking about decreased perfusion to the optic nerve because of the position. We're talking about having to do pressors because of the blood loss, bringing them back, they're prone, they stayed home the same day. So the first, I didn't understand what was happening the first case until like midway. And I'm like, okay, something special is happening here, right? And I had my text message on the phone. I was texting Dr. Massage, the MBA, with me. I'm like, I didn't realize what was happening here today. It's like incredible. So no pressors, because our patient was an older woman, right? Just her hypertension. Needed no pressure. Little frail, very frail actually. And she doesn't take care of herself very well.
Dentition.
Right. So no pressors during the case. Blood pressures were, phenomenal during the entire procedure. We flip her over, no pain. When you told the nurses in PACU that she was going home, they were shocked. They were like, no, that's not what happens. And they were thinking maybe the order was wrong. And I'm like, no. You guys don't understand what happened in that room today. Like it was pure magic. She's gonna go home. Because they were gonna call you back about the order. I'm like, no, he's right. She's going home today, and she woke up pain-free. It was just
I think it was no coincidence we had you in the room today. Because I think her demeanor and her positiveness, and
contagious.
It was contagious. No, seriously. And I think you trusted, you believed in what we were doing, and you supported it. If we had probably another person, maybe that would have not
Yeah.
happened exactly
Well,
the way it did.
I just want to make sure this is I'm recording.
Right.
You're not a trained paid actor because you're such a good storyteller. And just want to make sure, okay? And you're oh my goodness, she's
Not a paid actor.
she's not a trained paid actor because she's doing a great
Well, our
job.
second guy, right, was like morbidly obese, right?
Yeah.
We flipped him over. I mean, you guys saw how far it was from the anesthesia machine, right?
Yeah.
Typically, you have to go and you're bagging every time you're doing recruitment breaths because they have atelectasis, because they've just been prone forever, and you're like just struggling to keep them breathing. And the surgeon will ask you, "How's it up?" You're like, "Oh, it's good," but your arms are weak because you've been. But yeah, but this guy was just so awesome. I mean, you guys saw him afterwards. His sacks are fine. We were sitting him up. He was rolling. It was just to see the immediate results. It was just so incredible from our standpoint.
Now,
Yes.
about a month and a half ago,
Mhm.
we did a surgery on a 500-pound patient in University of Minnesota with a BMI of 62.5. Four surgeons told him he's going to die of that surgery. And they weren't wrong. If that would have been a 12-hour surgery for 4-level
You can die.
correction
Yeah.
and so on, even after 4-level, even our surgery was 1 hour and 55 minutes, and even after that, they couldn't extubate him. He was fine, but
Right.
even after 2 hours, we had to keep him intubated over the night. Now imagine make it that, say, 10-hour surgery.
Right.
I don't think you could do it. I
No,
just don't think it's
they wouldn't do it.
feasible.
That. And now we have a testimonial
Yeah.
of him, his mother crying that he got his son back.
Yeah.
This is the impact we have on
Yeah.
patient.
I mean, just like you were saying, over the time too. So typically, once you guys leave the room and you guys are done suturing, and we have to turn that patient over, the patient's been prone for 6-7 hours.
Mhm.
There's a lot of facial edema, a lot of tracheal edema.
Mhm.
That's the part that makes it hard
Yeah.
to extubate them. So then we have to sit them up in the OR. So we're sitting in the OR maybe 30-40 minutes.
Yeah.
Just trying to get a cuff leak so we can extubate them. Sometimes we can.
How long have you been
A CRNA.
at UMC?
At UMC, I've been there for about 7 years. Yeah.
7 years.
Yeah.
And in these 7 years, have you seen anything in spine surgery that triggered your attention like this surgery did?
No. This was.
I think
very-
that
And seeing the patient outcome, that was the biggest factor. Just seeing how your patients reacted after the surgery afterwards. I mean, that got the morbidly obese guy. He was like rolling back and forth on his back and side. He was fine. His sats were great. I mean, his sats were like 98%
I've
after
never-
like major back surgery. Because typically, their saturations are lower because they have to do pulmonary toileting afterwards. Because like all the little alveoli had collapsed during the 9-hour surgery. I was like,
I'm gonna also add, it was very interesting because typically my patients will always tell me they want to stay in the hospital. No matter what, they want to stay in the hospital. It's interesting. These two patients, on their own volition, they said they wanted to go home today.
They felt great.
No. Before the surgery. So before the surgery, I went to talk to them and I said, hey, I think you may be able to go home today. I just said, I think. Yes, please, if possible, please. And I was like, huh. That was the first one. Instead, like, I was doing this, but I said, like, huh. And then the second patient, I went to talk to him and I said, hey, we may be able to send you home today. I said, we may be able to, oh, please, doc, send me home today. And I was like, okay,
You remember you asked me to go and round with them with you tomorrow.
Right. So
But
I
you
was
don't have
already
to.
thinking it was, just maybe 23-hour ops. But it was interesting that even the patients were like, it was almost like it was lined up to just happen this way. And almost like in a supernatural way. I mean, I don't think as surgeons we control everything that happens.
Yeah.
But there's too many factors to make something happen very nicely. And it's not just, this is why we're all here, right? Anesthesia, our patient navigator, our surgical technician, our neurosurgeon director, and my wife. But I think how many coincidences happened to make this a successful day for those two patients. Man, I think it deserves the biggest toast of all.
Yeah.
I mean, we, you know,
This was an exciting day.
and,
Well-
and thanks to this guy who's done 1,400 of these, and took a car, you took a car and a plane, two planes to come here, and arrived at 9:30 at night, right? And was at 5:40 in the hospital, texting me when I was waking up, you know? And I thought I was an early riser. So thanks, Hamid, and,
No,
and
thank-
you know, 14 years.
Thank you.
14 years from the last time that I worked with you, and I think God puts people together at different points in time, and this is just one of them.
Well, my thank is to all of you, because I tell that genuinely, it's a teamwork. I'm just a small little wheel in a big machine, and everybody plays a big role in making this happening. And I can just tell you, Mitch knows I don't give a compliment. Yeah, look at you. Just shake your head one more time. Yeah, hard earned. But you, all of you, have really earned a big compliment. You're a fantastic team. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.